And welcome, everybody! So nice to have you here. Welcome to our Moon Colony live stream. It is a pleasure to see you once again. I am Wes Bartley. I run the community here at Moon Colony, and we are joined by the illustrious AJ Nazzaro. Welcome.
Hello, everyone.
So nice to have you here. Yeah, feel free to,
Thank you.
talk a bit about yourself. Tell us a bit about what you do here at Moon Colony and the kind of art you make.
Cool. Yeah, my name is AJ Nazzaro. I'm getting warmed up here a little bit to draw while I talk, but I'm a freelance illustrator mainly, and character designer, and concept artist, and I've been doing art professionally for about 12 years now, and I primarily work for I primarily worked on Blizzard Entertainment projects. Like Hearthstone is really my longest running and most enjoyed. I've also worked a lot on Heroes of the Storm back when it was really going, and I worked for like 8 years on Overwatch, doing some icon design, and yeah, I've been drawing since um, since my sophomore year of college. I never really was a person who drew as a kid. I just kind of made a decision one day that I wanted to spend the rest of my days on this planet making art. And yeah, I've been enjoying every moment of it ever since. And I feel like that has given me a perspective of how should I say it? I really feel like anyone can learn to be an artist. I really feel like it's just a visual language that anyone can learn, just like Spanish or English or Russian. It just has its own rules, and if you study them, you will improve. And yeah, I sort of live my life by that principle. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So, should I just like dive right in? Should
Yeah?
I preface with anything else? I don't know. I guess I don't really know exactly how to get the ball rolling here.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, we can just dive right in. For those of you in the chat, welcome, welcome. So lovely to see you again. We got Elvira, we got Dedicus. Love to see it. Um, yeah, basically, if anyone has questions about your process, I will narrate them to you, and we can kind of
Great. Okay.
help folks out as they go. The recruit volume is a bit quiet. I can't hear AJ. Oh no. Let's see if we
Oh
can t-
no.
turn you up a little bit. I currently have you at max volume. Um, Try speaking one, two, three.
One, two, three. This is my voice, and it's not the best voice, but let's hope to get the decibel to an audible level. I could, I probably messed something up. So, yeah.
No, it's all good. I do have you at max volume. So if there's anything we can do to turn your gain up, feel free to do so. Maybe through like audio settings. Uh, yeah.
Um, let's see. Let me see what I can do.
Still so low. That's interesting. Hmm.
Still low. Darn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm able to hear you loud and
Um,
clear, but
okay.
yeah. There's always one thing that we get whenever we use good old Streamlabs. Um, when every time we fix a glitch, there's always another one, which is it's fine. But yeah,
For sure, I can almost guarantee it is something that I've done wrong here. So let me see if I can, maybe through Windows, if I can turn it up.
yeah, no worries. Um, let's see. But if not, we can always just kind of jump right into drawing. And hopefully folks can maybe turn their volumes up so they can hear you.
Yeah, it does. I am double checking. It looks like my volume on my mic is turned as high as it can go.
Hmm. Well, here's what I'll do. I'll turn my volume down a little bit, and you folks, if you'd like, you can turn your volumes up. So hopefully it'll kind of equalize that way. And yeah, we'll just jump right into drawing. Welcome, Misha. So nice to
Okay,
see you.
cool.
All
That
right.
sounds good.
Let us proceed. So, what
Uh,
kind of learning or practice techniques will you be sharing today?
all right, so I am going to very brutally draw here a little chart that I like to use, and I am going to give it a very catchy name so we can all remember how cool it is. All right. And is are people able to hear me? Is it working?
Yes, testing one, two, three. How's this right now? Uh,
Testing one, two. Catchy, call this the Triforce uh, t- of learning.
heck yeah, I love
Yes,
that.
as you can tell, I have put a lot of thought into this already, and I had a name just ready to go. All
That's
right,
fantastic. I love that.
so I'm gonna, in this one, we're gonna go um, medium or technique. Oh no, people are gonna have to people are gonna have to see me fail at writing things here. All right, and we're gonna go style here.
Hmm.
And we're gonna go subject matter here. Awesome. Okay. I awesome. Okay. I think as an artist, I think the more I think the more you're trying to focus on at once, the more difficult of a time you're going to have retaining information. So I think it's best at all times to try to focus on one of these categories to improve on at a time.
Hmm.
So, for example, let's talk about medium or technique here. If you are a digital painter and you're using a very painterly technique, actually, it'll be way faster for me to type. I'm going to keep typing
Hmm.
instead of writing. Okay.
It's interesting. I feel like a
All
lot of artists don't have the best handwriting, which is a fun dichotomy.
right. I can have good handwriting, but it will take the whole stream for me to write one sentence.
Hmm.
My shorthand, not good. Okay. So I'm just going to give a couple examples of each of these so we're all on the same page here.
Cool.
So the medium and the technique would be things like drawing with a pencil, drawing with a Sharpie. Those two utensils are going to function completely differently. Draw, or let's go painting digitally.
Hmm.
I really hope Photoshop helps me out here with some autocorrect on my spelling here. All right, so subject matter, pretty straightforward. This is going to be things like I want to learn how to draw dogs. I want to learn how to draw people. I want to learn how to draw robots.
Trolls from World of
That's subject
Warcraft.
matter. Yes. Ooh, yes, my personal favorite.
Hmm.
All right, and then style, also pretty self-explanatory. Let's go with something like, yeah, let's use a Blizzard style. Let's go with like an animation style or something, mm, something else. Let's go with, I don't know, I'll come up with another example as we move forward. But basically, okay, so my entire goal as an artist is to expand my visual memory to I'm trying to constantly memorize new things to draw. I want to have a vast visual library that I can pull from at any time and that I can subconsciously pull from. So I've worked hard to internalize different things that I can draw on command, and I use this process to get there. So the triforce of learning here is, let's say I'm most comfortable drawing with a pencil,
Hmm.
but I want to learn how to draw with a Sharpie. I need to make sure I'm not learning to draw some new subject matter and a new style
Mm.
while I'm learning to draw with a medium I'm not familiar with. So I have a list of things that I'm very comfortable with drawing. Like, these are a few of them here, but also I'm really comfortable drawing dinosaurs.
Mm.
I'm really comfortable drawing monkeys. I'm really comfortable drawing, like, you could list any World of Warcraft race, like orcs, trolls,
The Tauren,
goblins.
Forsaken, Pandaren.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I can draw almost all of those things from imagination. Like a Tauren is gonna have this sort of structure here. We're gonna make sure the ear is placed
Oh.
here in front of the horn. We're gonna give a nice strong masseter here to the jaw, and the chin is gonna come down here. So a Tauren is gonna be something like that. I've practiced that a lot. I have really worked to make sure that I can draw a Tauren. Oh yeah, and his neck will come from high up
You
here.
get the
His
nice mane in there.
mane.
Yeah.
Yes,
Wow,
exactly.
five
Here's
second
some
Tauren.
jewelry.
Impressive.
So basically, this concept here that I'm talking about, this triforce of learning. If, for example, I were to use a style I'm not familiar with and a medium I'm not familiar with while I try to internalize that subject matter, I'm going to have a bad time. I'm gonna struggle. So this is like not the most important topic, and probably it's pretty intuitive to most people. But I just want to say, like, if you're working on, for example, learning how to draw a new category of subject matter, just do it always in a comfortable technique and a comfortable style that you have used often. And it goes all the way around. Like, I also really like drawing wolves.
Mm.
So if I were to learn a new technique, a new medium to work with, like if I were going to jump into oil paintings, I that's not something I've done that much of. So I would use a familiar subject matter. So I'm always trying to rely on two of these categories in my comfort zone to increase a new category of something that I'm not that familiar with. So that would be oil painting in this example. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of group this layer, and I may come back to this in a minute, but let's get to something more interesting than watching me fail to explain this very simple concept.
I think you're doing a great
Okay.
job.
Awesome.
I'm
I
enjoying this.
appreciate the encouragement. Okay, so again, I'm gonna um I'm gonna talk mostly about subject matter because I want to. I really feel like that's where you'll expand the most as an artist. You're increasing your visual library, becoming more comfortable with different things you can draw. So, um, like for example, I
Mm.
can draw skulls in my sleep because I have put a lot of practice into making sure that's something I can do every time. And I'm not even necessarily saying I can draw a perfect skull in my sleep, but I can get the basics there pretty much every time. And I it's something I want to always be able to call on when I have like artist block,
Mm.
basically. So adding things to my comfort zone is probably the most fun thing for me to do. And I'm just going to demonstrate how I add something to my comfort zone. So I already draw goats pretty well. I'm going to
Mm.
use goats as the subject matter of this stream because I love goats. So I'm going to just draw a couple goats here from memory. and then I'm going to pull up some references and show how I would practice drawing that. You can
Mm.
watch me increase my skill just a tiny bit here as we go, and then I'm going to show at the end an example of how I will push that to really give myself a unique character design. And I'm gonna put this up here too, just to remind myself what we're working on here. Okay.
Heck yeah.
So I'm always gonna start with the most basic shapes here as I draw anything. And a technique that I like to rely on is something actually my wife showed me, who is
Hmm.
also an artist. And this is a technique that comes from the tattooing industry. They use this all the time, where you start with a very, very light Sharpie on
Mm.
someone's skin, like a yellow Sharpie, for example. And then as you refine your drawing, you move to a darker Sharpie, like an orange Sharpie or a red Sharpie. This really kind of is the same technique that like the animation industry uses to tie down drawings, but this is my comfort technique here. So if you were to see me draw in public, I guess that's really what I am doing right now. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna rely on my most tried and true comfort zone techniques here to do something from memory. And I like to say from memory and not from imagination,
Mm.
because I am everything I know how to draw, I studied. I was not born knowing how to draw anything. So these things that fill the category of what I can draw from imagination all come from just looking at photos, looking at 3D models, looking at toys. I love to buy
Mm.
like a cheap toy from a toy store that's like a dinosaur, for example.
Mm.
Even a cheap toy that's not high quality and not very well sculpted knows more about how to draw a dinosaur than my brain when I haven't practiced it. So, yeah, I love to collect all kinds of inspirational items that I can use as reference. Um, yeah, okay. So, here's a quick example of what I can draw from memory of a goat.
And this is just like out of your
I'm gonna
visual library. Like you've looked at so many references, you've looked at so many studies, you've done so many studies. That kind of allows you to do this from memory. So it's not actually, from imagination. It's well, it is, but it's very much, it's within the realm of what you've seen before.
Yeah, exactly. And I really would not call this my imagination. Like if I were to draw a monster of some sort that combines pieces of different animals I've learned to draw, I will call that from imagination. Um, but this for sure is just from memory. Like I have just sat there in my room alone looking at photos of goats and copying them until it's ingrained in my memory to the best of my ability. Like, we'll see for sure. I'm going to pull up references. I'm not nailing these drawings. There's there's plenty that could be improved about them, but this to me is like a I really like to treat art like a video game. This
Mm.
to me is like I've acquired a new weapon, and I've now put that in my inventory and can call upon it when I need it.
Mm.
And I am a completionist in this video game, and I like to collect as many weapons as I can hold, and I've spent a lot of money increasing my inventory size. No, the analogy's falling apart now.
Yeah, it's working for me. I like it. It makes perfect sense.
It's very satisfying to me to add stuff to my visual memory. It's very rewarding. So I like to do it. It's fun for me to do. So when oh man, do my window sounds come through the stream?
I'm not
Uh,
hearing anything.
okay, good. I hope not because my brush just glitched and it made the most insane noise in my ear just now, and I hope no one else had to hear that.
Yeah, I didn't hear
Okay.
it, so we're good. We're good. No
Okay, good.
bleating has been gracing our ears.
Okay, good. Well, I'm gonna tuck these two fine gentlemen right here. Oh,
Hmm.
wait. This one I forgot his
Yeah, those
yes, my
nice
favorite part
horizontal
about a goat.
horizontal pupils.
Yes, guy, I love that. Okay, so I'm gonna pull up some references here. And we are going to look at the most majestic animal ever to exist, which is a goat. And
Hmm.
then I'm just going to talk a tiny bit about how I would increase
Oh
my
my goodness.
visual library.
That is a model right there.
Look
That
at
is a supermodel
I
goat.
know. Oh my gosh. Look at this
Wow.
fine creature. I just love how much character goats have.
Yeah.
And look at that wonderful hair. I wish I had that hairline.
Yeah, I want to know what kind of shampoo they're using.
Okay. Okay, cool. I'm going to use this one as an example. I have some others here if we need it. I'm actually just going to slap it into Photoshop so that I'm not struggling with keeping the window scaled appropriately. And
Hmm.
this is probably how I would suggest working. Just throw that thing right on your canvas so you can draw right next to it. Even like I'm drawing on a Cintiq, even if you were to draw on a different style tablet, like an Intuos or something, where you're not looking directly at the screen you're drawing on, I would still recommend putting your reference right next to where you're drawing. There's no point in not doing that. It can only hurt you to have to look around too much. So this is just a very quick technique I use to increase my visual library. And the important distinction here is that I do want to learn from a photo, but I don't want to copy a photo.
Hmm.
I want to extract structural knowledge from a photo. So when I'm looking at this, I am going to break down what I see in the shapes of this goat. And I'm going to, of course, I mean, this is like so minor. Everyone knows how to do this. But I'm going to just break this down into very simple forms so that I can build upon them as I draw here. But you'll see the next step of this process will catch me cheating
Hmm.
if I were to cheat. So the they've got this beautiful nose here. I like to leave this little slit in the middle to show that it connects to the muzzle. And then, oh my gosh, they're just so adorable.
Yeah.
How can you not love goats?
And I think it's a good
Okay,
approach, kind of focusing on like big shapes. I know a lot of folks might, like be like, I need to do the hair details in every individual strand immediately, which is not how you want to do things.
for sure, it really isn't. Unless you're like a god tier artist who has just the most insane experience. Um, and then it's fine. Like there are no rules, and if you want to do it differently, you can. But I'm always looking for the easiest way to do things, and I truly do think this is the easiest way. Okay, so I've built this structure here, and as you said, I could have laid in the hair right away, and I could lay in the hair right now. But I don't care so much about the hair
Mm.
because it's going to confuse the next step of this. So just to keep things on target here for my goals and how to use this technique, I'm going to pause right there. So this is the core of what I'm trying to do. And I'm just going to tuck this over here. And now comes the tricky part. I'm going to try to do the same thing, but I'm going to make the goat face the other direction. So I've taken now my ability to rely on the reference, and now I'm relying on my ability to memorize what I had just done.
Mm.
So if um, if I had just gone in and like started to kind of go around the image like a laser pointer and fill it in as I see it, I don't think that's a good way to internalize what I've what I've seen, what I've studied. So, yeah, now is the test to see how well I can do it facing the other way. And this is also kind of an in-between step to being able to do it from memory because I still have two things that I can use here to help me. I have the original reference and I have my first drawing of it.
Mm.
So I'm not like all alone on an island to draw this from memory, but I am strengthening that muscle. I am making sure I remember, like, okay, if this was a human's face, I would put his eye about here and I would put the other eye here. But
Uncanny.
because this because this is a prey type animal that has the eyes on the side of its skull so that it could turn and see predators in almost a 360-degree view around its body. I need to remember that when I put this eye on this character, I put it way off to the side of the center line here. So now I'm going to call that back into action. And we can't see his eye over here. And it's likely we wouldn't be able to see it because of the turn of his muzzle here. But I love drawing the opposite eye on this side. I'm going to try to squeeze that in anytime I can. That's a style choice of
Mm.
mine. And I also, when I'm drawing people, I also do the same thing with an ear. You will see me if you look at my art. I'm cheating that almost all the time. If I draw a face in 3/4, I am almost always having this ear peek out on the other side. I just like how that looks. So I'm always going to do that. I'm going to imagine we could see that eye a little bit over here, whether we can or we can't.
You know, as
So
someone
now
from
I'm
the
gonna.
Big Ear Gang, I appreciate the representation.
Yes, I love that. I just like how that looks. I like the look of a face with a little bit of horizontal stretch to it,
Hmm.
and yeah, I'm trying to squeeze that into even yeah. No matter what I'm drawing, really, I'm always trying to squeeze that in.
Yeah, I love like the
Okay.
mindset of like having stylization being kind of choices you make too, because I think a lot of people are like I need to find my style. And it's like oftentimes it's just a kind of mix of shortcuts and choices and decisions.
That's so true. And yeah, that actually is something I did want to talk about. Thank you for bringing that up because in this super handy, super catchy uh, chart we made here, and not hard to remember at all, our style category here might throw people for a loop. You might say, well, how can I, okay, if I want to just focus on one thing, how can I not think about style, for example? Like, okay, I want to learn how to draw dogs, but I know that I need to have two of these categories in my comfort zone in order to focus on a new subject matter. How do I not worry about style? How do I not try to do a unique style or copy someone else's style while I work on something new? And my shortcut for that is I just try to not think about style and I just try to draw things as best as I can. For example, style is innate to all of us. It's a distillation of all of the inputs that we've received as we've grown and as we've studied as artists, and those things are subconsciously affecting your decisions. And if you just try to not think about them and you just try to draw the absolute best you can, the best of your ability, that is your style. You might not love how that looks, and you can alter that and you can try to add new ingredients into that. But just drawing the best you can and not worrying about style, that is your style. So that's sort of what I'm focusing on here. And yeah, like you mentioned, I'm gonna try to squeeze in some things like that eye, and that's a conscious choice, and that's part of my style too. And that's because when I see it in other people's art, I like it and I want to like adapt it into my art, but I'm just doing what feels right. I'm just trusting my instinct, and I don't mean that in like a metaphysical,
Mm.
ethereal, trust your instincts kind of way. I just mean don't worry about it. Just do what feels right and don't second guess it. Just do what you think. Just try your best is
Yeah,
what it comes down
and I'd
to.
imagine like the more experience you gain, the more your instinct is kind of honed, and you'll get a good sense of, like what looks good in an art piece and what doesn't.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want people to think that what I'm saying is you're stuck with the style you have. I think your style is a suit and you can throw in ingredients all the time. Like a benchmark of style might be ear size, for example. You might draw ears really small or really large, or people are gonna think I'm obsessed with ears. Let's not use ears as an example. Let's use hand size as an
Mm,
example. Hand size is a really strong indicator of style, like
mm.
the Blizzard style that I use most. It really relies on like over exaggerated proportions, hands being one of them. If when you're drawing and you're not focusing on style and you're just trying to draw your best, you end up drawing these little teeny tiny hands and you hate that about your style, that's okay. That's when you just put that in the forefront. You focus on studying the style of other artists. You use a subject matter you're familiar with and a technique you're familiar with, and you focus on how big they do make hands in the Blizzard style, and you memorize how that compares to the head size and the chest size, and you practice that and practice that and practice that and internalize that, and then further down the road you'll be able to call on those things, and you'll realize that has now become baked into my own personal style.
Yeah, it's really fantastic too. I think the more you kind of analyze other art as well, you kind of like see all the like little subtle decisions and nuances they have in those styles. Um, One thing I do love about the Hearthstone style is like all the little it feels very kind of worn. Like there's all these little like nicks in the armor, like little dents.
Yes,
They have like the kind of
absolutely.
three very 3D shapes, lots of like chunky kind of boxy elements. Obviously like the head's a little small, and then the body's like all heroic proportions. Uh, yeah, a lot of fun decisions to be made.
For sure. One of my favorite things to do is to try to analyze and like reverse engineer the soup
Mm,
of said style. So yeah, those are really good examples of what makes the Hearthstone style unique. And then if you were to pull up a differing style, like a Magic the Gathering style, for
mm.
example, and put them side to side, that can really help you see, oh, Hearthstone does it this way, Magic the Gathering does it this way. Now I see there's this center line of a court, and they're on opposite sides of these things. They might do some things the same, but yeah, when I first wanted to work on Hearthstone, I really spent a lot of time trying to distill what the Hearthstone style is, and those key things are what helped me get hired in the first place when I initially found work on that project.
Yeah, good thing to keep in mind,
I
folks.
Yeah, I mean, also I could talk about stuff like that too. That might be more interesting than drawing goats, or maybe that will come up as we go. But let me get back to focusing a tiny bit on this goat so I can bring home this point here.
Mm.
I'm just going to rough in sort of what I'm seeing in the reverse now of this hair. I'm going to indulge myself in some of these fun details now that I've laid in the structure. And we can see maybe I did sort of fail in my flipped version of this goat here. And maybe I did succeed. I definitely did not nail this head tilt that it has. I would have liked to have done a better job with that. In fact, I would like to adjust this neck just a tiny bit, and I'm gonna flip my canvas here. Whoa, our Triforce of Learning and my information at the top is now destroyed.
Oh dear.
I also don't really love how I handled the nose here, but I don't want to spend too much time on this one drawing. I want to explain my goals here a little more. Okay, I think that's fine enough. So yeah, there's two ways I think you can improve your ability to draw things from imagination, and the two techniques that are most effective for me, and that's what we've just done here in a very basic sense. I hate this version of Photoshop that is putting in the Latin text
Mm,
filler. Okay, so I like this color.
mm. In the
Okay.
meantime, Elvira in the chat says, very useful advice. Just copying something to deconstruct it makes you improve so much. She also suggests drawing goblins in the I'm sorry, drawing goats in the Hearthstone goblin style question mark.
Ooh, that sounds very
That's a
fun.
fun one.
That sounds awesome.
We have Dedicus who's asking, what do you suggest to someone who wants to practice and learn the Hearthstone style?
Ooh, yeah, cool. Let's talk about that. Okay, let me write this.
Hmm. Drawing, of course.
I wrote it as I might pronounce it after 2 drinks.
Hey, drink and draw, nothing wrong with that. What Hemingway said it once, like draw drunk, edit sober, right? Lassitude
Hey, I
sober.
like that. Let me try that. Plot twist, I'm drunk right now. No one knows, but I'm actually
Wow.
trying that in real time.
Oh my goodness, that's
It's good.
awesome.
That's
Yeah, me
fun.
too, but I'm on the down low. No, we are so sober. It's great. Draw from reference. Oh, we also got notes. Lovely. Yes, indeed. You don't have to write notes. You can just get them yourself from our lovely AJ.
Okay, great. So, just this first method here is what we've done. I drew this first goat, and yeah, I'm sure I've spelled just about everything wrong on these, but it's just it's just a quick explanation here. Okay, so I drew this first goat. I drew him from reference,
Yay.
sort of, the structure of him at least. Then I kept the reference up and I drew the goat facing the opposite way. That's my favorite method to use. That helps me so much to learn how to draw something from imagination, from memory. And then the other way I would do it sometimes is I will just draw this handsome creature
Mm.
from reference as we did in the first step, and then I will hide the reference and I will hide my initial drawing as well, and I'll try to immediately do it from memory.
Ooh.
And I think those two methods can get you so much mileage. And even just redrawing the exact same image, not bring up a new image over and over again. Just keep going back to the same one until you've internalized it. I think that's super helpful to do. Okay,
Wow.
so
Love that actionable advice for
these
people.
I really try to always present things as actionable advice when I can, because that's what helps me the
Mm.
most, and I try to not make art more uh philosophical than it needs to be. Art can be philosophical and it can speak volumes to the emotions of mankind, but that's a little more than I need to do right now. I'm just learning how to draw goats.
Hell yeah. That's why you're the
Okay.
goat.
No, 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 no. Okay. So, what I really would love to do, okay, there's 20 minutes left.
Mm.
I have another reference here that I want to show people, and I use it all the time for character design. It's so helpful. I'm going to try to combine a little bit of goat knowledge here with a little bit of character design inspiration. So there's this website called Earth's World, and
Ooh.
it is my favorite place. It
Fascinating.
is here.
See if we can link that in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. So Earth's World is a website of a photographer who goes to state fairs in the United States, I believe mostly in the Seattle region.
Mm.
And they are high resolution photos of just regular people, not Hollywood people, not idealized, like um, sort of anime. No hate on anime. I love anime. Uh, they're real people. They're real, regular, everyday people. And these, to me, are the most enjoyable, beautiful people to draw. So I have pulled just a couple random references here from this website. I just love the character of these people.
Hmm.
These people have more character in their pinky finger than Hollywood could purchase with $1 billion. And
Ooh,
I
that
I
mustache.
just I just love it. These character designs draw themselves. These
Mm.
people are awesome. And I'm just going to show uh, just the just a little bit of process of how I would try to make a unique character using a reference like this. So we'll just like actually what we'll do is oh I'm just gonna hold my arrow key. Okay. Okay. We're just going with a random one and well actually this guy looks almost too much like a goat
Yeah, like
already.
I feel
So
like the horns are already there. You know, it's too easy to do that. Also, feel free
okay,
to do so,
we'll
Caden. Go
go
ahead.
what's that?
Oh, Caden says I have the link to the website. You can go ahead and post it if you'd like.
Yeah, awesome. I love that website. If you go look through my Instagram, you'll see people that I've drawn and you'll know right away that they're from this website because I've spent a lot of time on here just practicing. I think it's such a good resource for learning how to draw unique people. And there's nothing wrong with drawing idealized people. That's super cool. It's not what I'm best at. But it's also not what I don't care too much to be the best at that.
Mm.
There are people who will always be better at that than me, and I want to draw unique people. I want to draw characters that you haven't seen before. And maybe I'm tooting my own horn to imagine that I'm capable of that, but I this is an excellent reference for doing such a thing. So instead of just doing a drawing of this beautiful person here, I'm going to draw a goat
Mm.
now with some shape inspiration from this person. So I'm going to take what we've learned a little bit from our previous exercise and try to apply it here. And again, I'm trying to play this game on the easiest mode possible. I'm trying to put as little friction between myself, what I'm capable of, and the expectations for my output. So I'm going to use references that inspire me to do something I just wouldn't normally do. Like that same goat I drew from imagination, it will always sort of look like that. And if I can look at a reference that helps me draw something a little different than my normal output, that's a win. Even if I don't capture what's so charismatic about this person in the photo, I still can do it might prompt some different neurons to fire in my
Hmm.
mind that might give me just a little bit of a different output. So let's try. Let's see in real time if I can do anything unique here. So one of the things I really liked about my goat studies and I really extracted from practicing there was this sort of upside down triangle shape that most of them have. And that's because goats have this really broad nose bridge and those really wide set eyes. So this upside down triangle is sort of where I'm always going to start when I'm drawing a goat. And even though don't I don't want to end up with an a goat that you might expect to see, I'm still going to see if I can use that as a crutch to start this off. Okay. So, of course, what is just so interesting about this beautiful person is their neck, and I am going to make sure I include that. I still have a bit of a delineation here of my chin line, um, but I'm going to I'm going to just slowly sort of increase the saturation and the darkness of the brush I'm using to kind of fill in as I move forward here, kind of that same Sharpie technique I was talking about. I love that their eye is closed here. That's so awesome.
Yeah, lovely bit of expression
And
work there.
yeah, for sure. I am like you can see this nice regular triangle shape on their nose. I am going to abandon some of the things that we see in this photo. Like I'm trying to balance it. Human versus goat. What are the things I want to keep? I sort of always want to keep this large nose bridge of a goat. At least on my first pass here, maybe we would do something different on the next pass. But I do really love this about goats, so I'm gonna keep that in there for now. We'll see where that leads us. And this mouth shape is
Oh my
just
goodness.
too good to ignore. I love just the couple teeth poking down right here. I love I love this expression.
I feel
I
like this
am
is. Oh, go ahead.
no, please. I'm rambling.
I feel like this is a fantastic way as well for anyone who maybe struggles, like, same face syndrome, where you're kind of always like falling into the
Yes.
same repeated habits. Learning to both draw like a bunch of different face types and expressions, but also, you know, different just kind of types of people. Because oftentimes I see a
For
lot of
sure.
illustrators kind of fall into this, this habit of like everyone's a pretty anime K-pop person, and that's the only thing we draw.
Yeah. And I love that too. I don't want anyone to think that you have to not like same face syndrome is also expert face syndrome. And if
Mm,
you're really, really good at drawing one face, there's nothing wrong with that. You can push that to the ultimate degree. But yeah, I try to avoid same face syndrome because I get just a little bit bored of it. But I don't want anyone to think that I'm saying that that's lesser than, because both have equal merit.
yeah.
And let's be honest, if I could draw perfect faces, I'd probably abandon this in a heartbeat and I would do that instead. This is just me covering for my shortcomings and trying to make everyone think it was intentional.
Hey, that's what style is, baby.
Exactly. I totally agree. All right, so we're gonna go with a little bit of a floppier ear here, like this. And I just really gotta try to capture some of this shape here. I'm gonna bulk out these cheeks a little bit. I'm gonna absolutely make sure I have these horizontal pupils in here. Can't live without those.
I feel like this is
I'm
how
gonna
I would look if I was a Khazra in Diablo, and some adventurers just like it stormed into my camp, like, "Hey, I've just woken up. What's wrong with you?"
have. That is a good way to say it.
Yeah, think about the
Okay,
backstory
I'm
of this
gonna.
character. Go on.
Yeah, for sure. We need some backstory. I'm gonna get a little bit of this muzzle back in there to just bring home a little more goatiness. I'm gonna make sure we can read this mouth sort of well enough. I'm gonna move this over. I don't like how it's overlapping my ear here. Okay, I love the variety of horns that goats have, and I'm just gonna do something I think sort of suits this character, though I'm going to demonstrate also just a little bit of how I do some variety in my
Mm.
drawings. And okay, I'm just gonna this is an abomination, but whatever. I'm gonna get some shoulders in here. Okay, so I'm gonna clean this up just so quickly with just a little bit of a lower opacity on my sketch and come back in on top just so everything's a little more homogenized and easier to read. And I'm just going to run through this really quick. If you have like a question you want me to answer while I'm doing it, this will lead into something else, but it will just take me 1 sec to do this.
Yeah, if anyone has questions in the chat, feel free to ask them now. We got about 10 to 15 minutes remaining on our lovely stream with AJ. So if there's anything, any of his amazing knowledge you want to hear from him, feel free to ask now or forever hold your peace.
Just do a little bit of hair peeking out here. I'm going to
Oh,
make sure I have just the tiniest cheekbone here.
this design is so. This is lovely. I feel like we should name this character.
I love that idea. I don't have any good names that come to mind, but I'm wide open to suggestions.
All right, folks in the chat, you know what to do. Let's get some good goat names up in here. What do we have? Barbara.
I love that.
Oh, that is fantastic, Caden. Thank you very much.
That's too
Barbara.
good.
Love that. All right, so for Barbara here, what do we kind of oh, Mildred. Ooh, that's good. Mildred.
Ooh, that's good too.
Oh, Dedicus is asking about his Hearthstone style question. So practicing the Hearthstone art style and kind of
Oh,
learning it and
yes.
getting
I'm
better at that.
sorry. I lost that. Okay. I'm going to uh I'm gonna fill in some background here while I answer that. Okay, so I think the Hearthstone style really can be boiled down to like four or five pillars.
Hmm.
And I think, well, first off, if you want to sort of find the essence of a style yourself, I think what you should do is pull up pull up a large quantity of images from the project. Hearthstone is so easy to find full art images of the cards. There's so many of them online or on the Hearthstone wiki, and I would make two piles. I would make a folder that has your favorite art, and I would make a folder that has the art that you think best exemplifies that style, like the truest examples of Hearthstone art. And I would spend some time looking at them, making sure you understand decisions they're making every time. But from my experience, those decisions come down to a couple things here, and I'm gonna type them. Uh, they are the proportions, like Hearthstone, the style of Hearthstone is a derivative of Warcraft, and Warcraft is a World of Warcraft, and World of Warcraft is a derivative of what I would mostly call the Warcraft 3 style. And the
Hmm.
Warcraft 3 style was isometric. It was a top-down game, an RTS game. And because of that, to make characters legible, their proportions were exaggerated. And they take proportion inspiration from things like animation. They have exaggerated hands, smaller heads, larger feet. Those proportions are integral to the Hearthstone style. That's very important. The next most important thing I would say is the color treatment. And the color treatment mostly revolves around heavy use of midtones.
Hmm.
Mid-tone color treatment. And that's things like if you watch a Pixar movie, you'll see there are very few of the darkest darks in the color palette.
Hmm.
Most of the you guys can see my color wheel here, I think. There's not a lot of this going
Hmm.
on, not a lot of this dark color. It's almost all existing in this mid-tone range here where color can really breathe. If you
Hmm.
make a color too light, the lightness of it will desaturate the color. And if you make the color too dark, the darkness of it will desaturate the color. So Hearthstone lives right in the middle here, where every color has the room to really breathe in its truest form.
Hmm.
And that's so important to the Hearthstone style. Also, the next most important thing is legibility, which would you would describe as uh, like color structure essentially,
Hmm.
uh, which means the character is warm and the background is cool, or the background is cool and the character is warm, as well as value structure tied into that, which is a more common term. Value structure is like a dark character on a light background and a light character on a dark background. If you combine those two things, color structure and value structure, you will have a very, very legible image. And since the Hearthstone style shows characters so small on a phone screen, you have to have that legibility. That's a topic talked about very often in doing the Hearthstone style. And then one thing that you had mentioned is kind of that beat up, weathered look.
Hmm.
I call that the Blizzard bevel. And
Ooh.
that is essentially the thickness of a form. Like I mean, if it's Blizzard, we're gonna use a shoulder pad as an
Of
example.
course, pauldrons, big pauldrons.
Exactly. So here's a very crude pauldron here.
Hmm. Yeah, getting those
Wish I
nice
could use
3D
a
shapes in
softer
there.
brush. Yeah, exactly. So if we if we were working on Magic the Gathering, then this thickness here would, all right, why am I using this brush? I hate this brush. This thickness here would be significantly thinner,
Hmm.
and that would be more realistic, but that's not the Hearthstone style. The Hearthstone style is to have thick, thick edges. I call that the Blizzard bevel, but combined in the Blizzard bevel is this concept here where the edge of these forms, like this white section here, that is cracked. We're going to just put cracks in that. And that's like from a hand painted 3D modeling technique that they used on Warcraft and
Oh.
World of Warcraft. And that's integral to the Hearthstone style, not only for that like worn in look, but also for like the modeling of the three dimensionality of the forms. I call that the Blizzard bevel. That was something I was missing in my work, and when I started adding that, it really helped me to get hired.
Hmm.
Um, so I know I only have a couple more minutes here, and one thing I just wanted to show about this silly little goat here that we designed, Barbara,
Barbara, of course.
yes, is the next step of my design process, especially if I did a better drawing than this. This is pretty mediocre, let's be honest, but that's okay. I'm a little nervous to draw live, and I'm
No.
whatever. It is what it is. It was a demonstration. But
Hmm.
what I would do next is I would take this and I would make a copy of it and I would hide this layer and I would be like, okay, cool, got that saved away. Now let's mess with it. Now let's see what she looks like with different ears because maybe I didn't make the right choice on those ears the first time. And now, what does it do to her character design if we have these sort of upward projecting ears? Maybe that more suits her character, but they conflict a bit with the horns we drew here. So, good lord. I mean, I know I'm just giving an example here, but those are some pretty terrible ears.
Quick
Like this.
question,
Maybe these
if that's all
horns
right.
suit that better. Yes, please,
Yeah,
please.
we got one from Just Another Owl. Any advice for juniors or graduates who are interested in working in character design in Illustrator? Sorry, in character art and design. How to approach finding a position in 2D as a junior?
Okay. So the question is how to find work in character design or yeah,
I would
is
say
that
like
the
it looks
question?
like finding art, 2D art jobs as someone who's just recently graduated and is looking for kind of junior positions.
Well, I mostly am an illustrator, so I truly love illustration, and I think that's an excellent path for someone to follow. To me, um, as a 2D artist, you sort of have two paths. Of course, there's way more paths than that, but if I'm going to explain this quickly, I'm going to say your art can be functional or aesthetic, we'll call it.
Mm,
Functional 2D art would be things like concept art or character design, where you are coming up with an idea that is passed on to another artist, and they are, and you're really using your 2D art to explain how to how to recreate the item you've designed. Or aesthetic would be illustration, where your art is used for like a trading card game or promotional art, and the image you work on is the final product that is delivered to the client or to the public. I think deciding which of those two paths is most satisfying to you is a crucial step of finding work, because those two things are not the same. They use a similar skill set, but you really need to focus as a 2D artist, especially in the beginning. I think being a specialist is more important than being a generalist. I think a generalist in the long term will be hireable in more positions, but it will take way longer. I really think you should specialize. That is my biggest tip. And I think you should get pretty darn specific once you specialize. Like, I am an illustrator, but I am very specifically a trading card art illustrator. And that has a very specific type of composition, for example. So if I were putting pieces in my portfolio that were environment heavy, I would not find trading card work very readily, I guess, unless it was something like mana illustrations in Magic the Gathering. There's a place for that. But I think the most important thing to being hired as an artist is to find the very, very, very specific job you would enjoy the most and get laser focused on pursuing that path and looking at the art of the people who are doing that professionally and trying to distill their process and emulate the quality of their end result.
Fantastic. I hope that helps you. Yeah, let's say we have about 4 to 5 more minutes to wrap up here. So,
Okay, awesome.
yeah, anything more you want to do, feel free to proceed. Uh,
Cool. If there's any other questions, I'm happy to answer them. And otherwise, I'm just gonna do the most silly first pass of rendering on this somewhat lackluster character we've created here.
hey, don't talk about Barbara that way. But yeah, I hope everyone's enjoying the stream. I'm certainly getting a lot of fantastic study knowledge from just hearing your methods and hearing your practice techniques. I shall be incorporating this into my studies as well.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah, I'm having a blast being here. Makes me a little nervous to draw in front of people, but that's not going to stop me from doing my best. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to just kind of hang out here. And yeah, I'm such a big fan of Moon Colony, and it's such an honor to work with them. And it's so cool to be a part of this right now.
Yeah, I hope to have you joining us for many more streams going forward.
Cool. I would love to participate again. And honestly, I would love to draw on paper. I would just have to figure out, I
Mm.
just have to like point my camera in another direction, but I don't think there's anything that wouldn't work about that. I'd love to do a stream where I draw on paper if that would work for everyone.
Yeah, that'd be really special. I'd love to see that. We can definitely see about getting that ready at some point. So what's happening at this point? We're kind of adding some basic rendering, but airbrush.
Yeah, I'm just doing the most basic pass of lighting here, sort of like a candle lighting pass where
Mm.
I'm just blocking in where light and shadow would fall on this character. I'm doing it on a mask so that I can change it if I don't like it. And this would be step one of me rendering this. And now step two, now that I've locked in that very soft and simple light source, I would come in with my brush here on my mask, and I would hit the like lowest hanging fruit here as far as adding three dimensionality to this. I would just simply start with the down planes, and I would make sure they're a little darker than the up planes as we work away here from our light source.
We have Leone in the chat. He has said AJ, the best Brazilian working at Moon Colony.
That is a hilarious inside joke, and I am honored to be I don't know, what am I, like the 10th best Brazilian artist, even though I'm not Brazilian.
Hey, honorary Brazilian. So
I'm the honorary Brazilian. Yes, I hold the artists from Brazil in the highest regard. I don't know what is in the water of Brazil, but Brazil has like the best artists ever. I hope that a scientific study is conducted one day to explain why, and that I can drink whatever is in the water, because why are all my favorite artists Brazilian? I don't know, but they are.
yeah, I'm always on Art Station, like looking at like the best, kind of Blizzard people working. It's like, oh my goodness, these, like they got like Raphael's and chat. Yeah, I don't know. Like a good
I
people.
agree. Yep, he's like my all-time favorite and the
Mm.
coolest guy ever. So, yes. I don't know what it is about Brazil, but thank you, Brazil, for your contributions to the art world because I'm jealous of how many good artists come from there.
Mm. All right. Um, yeah, let's say a few more minutes to just wrap it up. Van says Real Lyra and Felipe Pagliuso. I'm butchering these names. Are two of them? Yeah, yeah, fantastic people, fantastic artists. Come, Leonie says, come to Brazil. Yeah, we should have a full Moon Colony trip, just like all of us. We head on down.
Field trip.
Yeah, do some live
Count me in.
sketching. Heck yeah, I'm down for
Okay.
this.
Yes, Leone sent a picture once of a parrot in his backyard, multiple
What?
parrots in his backyard,
Oh my
and to
goodness.
me, he may as well live in Narnia for that to be real. So, yeah, that would be my number one goal is to see some backyard parrots.
Oh, that's amazing. I love that. Yeah, do some live parent sketching. That's my goal. I just live sketch crows. That's what we got
Oh,
these
that's
parts.
cool. I have
Even
done a lot of practicing at the zoo, so I'm
oh
willing.
yeah. Yeah, this lighting and shadow pass is fantastic. I mean, this is like what, 5 minutes of work?
Um, I'm not sure, but I'm doing whatever I can right now to salvage this very lackluster drawing to get at least something at the end of this that looks like an adult drew it. I, you'll all have to take my word for the fact that I am a professional artist. Don't judge me by this piece. Yeah, I promise. I promise. People pay me. I promise.
I mean, hey, drawing robots and dinosaurs, and I feel like that's like the dream of any kid. So,
It was my dream, and
yeah.
I'm grateful to live it.
Yeah, but I think it looks fantastic, and the chat definitely agrees. Leone agrees. And
All
obviously,
right. Leonie agrees. I'm good.
he's the voice that matters.
Yes, I agree completely.
Ooh, that nice, almost like glowing eye. That's fun.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, here's a beautiful trick.
Mm.
I can leave everyone with this nice nugget of information. If you want to make a nice glowing eye, leave the eye lighter than everything else around it, like we have here, and then make a new layer. I'm going to bring my layer palette down here onto the stream. Make a new layer on pin light,
Ooh.
and then take the most saturated color you have,
Okay.
whatever color you want the eye to glow.
Bit of
I'm
airbrush.
gonna go with like an orangish color here, which is gonna give us a nice yellowy red glowing
Mm.
eye.
Ooh, that's looking nice.
Oh yeah, here we go. So you just get your first color in there, and then you can do this wonderful thing where you grab the hue saturation slider and decide, oh, maybe it's a purple glowy eye
Mm.
or a blue glowy eye, but I like this yellow, so I'm gonna stick with that. And then you might need to clean it up a little bit. There we go. There we go. There we go. Hey, we got a glowy eye.
Yeah. Nice light infused goat.
Yes.
The power of the sun in the palm of your eyeball.
And then, yeah, I love using the hue saturation slider. I would even honestly do that here, and
Mm.
I would set this to overlay, and I would mess with if I didn't like that color, I would mess with something else here. Ooh. I mean, who doesn't love a red goat? Let's go with red.
That's
Let's
looking
soften
nice.
this a little bit. And now we could compensate a bit with our shadow color here. Whoa.
I feel like we have a bit of like a sunstone construct or something, a bit
I like
mythical,
that.
mythical happening.
Yes. I mean, you can't go wrong with just making the thing you're drawing a little fantastical.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't draw something very good, as long as it's got like a weird color or a glowing eye, you'll score some extra credit points, I promise. I'm
Yeah.
gonna give us just a little bit of a different horn color here on a multiply layer for some contrast.
industry insider tips. Get a bit of that, mythology. It's
There we go. I feel like no matter what you do, if you make it glowing, it's gonna be more epic. No
yeah,
matter what your no matter what your art is, no matter what your character design is, if you make something glow, you're gonna get you're gonna people are gonna think it's epic.
yeah. Get some, big shoulder pads in there, some glowing eyes.
Yes.
Spikes,
Exactly.
spikes everywhere. That's important.
Spikes
Um,
everywhere.
yeah.
And here's a perfect place for a little bit of that blizzard bevel.
Ooh,
There we
there we
go.
go.
Wait, I'm on the wrong layer.
Leone says my go-to is glowing eyes and horns. Yeah,
There we go.
heck
Well,
yeah.
then maybe you drew this and it wasn't me, and I can blame you for why it looks so bad. No, I'm just kidding.
I
I'm
do
being
this.
too
You do this.
self-deprecating.
You can see that with
There we
Nyx.
go.
Yeah.
Little texturing there.
Oh yeah, those kind of like the segmentation on the goat horns. That's always nice to
Yeah.
see.
Let's darken this too. I'm really flailing here to pull this together
Hmm.
to something anyone might think is interesting.
I
And
think it's
this
pretty
I'm
interesting seeing
going
it happen.
to. All right, good. We'll lighten his teeth up. Her teeth up. We'll lighten
Yeah.
Barbara's teeth
Bahabra.
up a little bit here.
Indubitably. That's a fun word to say. What was that Warcraft 3 character that said indubitably? Anubarak? Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
That
I
sounds
think,
right.
yeah, Steve Bloom, who voiced like half the characters in Warcraft and StarCraft, indubitably. Love that.
Awesome. From the depths I call.
Mm. My life for Ajul Narub. Oh, that's Protoss.
Yes. Oh man, we're really gonna push everyone out from here, but you'll enjoy it.
Protoss Nerubian, same thing.
I love it.
I feel like we probably have a lot of old school Blizzard fans in the audience here. That's what they're here for.
Awesome. Yeah, if it weren't for Warcraft 3, I don't know if I would even be an artist. I
Mm.
got a Warcraft 3 demo in a magazine from the grocery store, and
Ooh.
that started me down this whole path. That was the first Blizzard game I played. That led into World of Warcraft. That led into like 500 days played of game time, and now this is the result. A guy who draws a sort of weird looking goat on a live stream for some very tolerant people.
Well, speaking of tolerant people, thank you so much. I mean, this is. I might have to, come to BlizzCon and meet you at some point. I don't know. We'll have to.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, 2026, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah, BlizzCon.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. This has been absolutely fantastic to have y'all here. I hope y'all have been enjoying all the amazing knowledge that AJ has been pontificating upon us. If you would like to see more of his work, you can check him out on ArtStation. And where else can people find you?
I have an Instagram where you can find artwork I have created, but I don't really post there anymore. I just am maybe like a little bit too lazy, and I should post more, but laziness has been victorious
Hmm.
for like the last 2 years, so I haven't posted there in a long time.
I can certainly empathize. Well, folks, it's been a pleasure to host this stream. I hope you all enjoy, and I hope you'll be joining us for our many, many future live streams.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Moon Colony's the best.
Thank you. Go Moon
Woo!
Colony. Bye bye.